Oh, there you are. You finally made it back. Welcome back to another Friday 5 Minute Magic Tips. Dr. Shane, looking at a great weekend coming up. Hope you guys are looking forward to it. Just wanted to chat with you again before the weekend and welcome in all you DPC rebels, all you resistant fighters. Part three of a series we're doing on the basics of health plans, employer-based health plans. Just wanted to get with you on that. We talked a little bit about self-funded versus fully funded plans. We talked a little bit about TPAs or third-party administrators last week. This week, another critical part of self-funded health plans is stop-loss insurance. You may have heard the term stop-loss insurance, or sometimes it's called reinsurance, which is interesting. So what is it? What is stop loss insurance? It's basically insurance policy to protect self-funded employers for catastrophic health plans. So it's insurance for your insurance is the way I see it. But let me just throw up on the screen a couple of little bullet points for you guys to think about. So uh, it's an insurance policy to protect self-funded employers from catastrophic or large claims. So the worry is always, well, if we do self-funded, what about cancer? What about somebody's in a bad accident in their hospital for weeks? What if there's a really early childbirth and neonatal, uh, and the baby has to stay in the hospital in the NICU for long periods of time? How do we get that covered? So big claims that could be really high risk to the self funded employer. They want a way to protect themselves for that. So you can buy insurance to protect yourself against those big claims. So it lowers the risk of self-funded employers, so they know they're only out a certain amount of money per year per employee. And there's several ways you can set that up. Again, as I've mentioned in some of these talks, having a really good benefits advisor to guide you on that is really helpful to give you, where you need to be on your stop loss insurance. If you have 100 employees or if you have 1,000 or 10,000, where you need to be. So you want to lower your risk, and stop loss insurance is a way to do it. Interesting to know that a lot of the BUCA plans, the big guys, the big insurance companies, they use stop loss too. So it's not a secret. When they offer these big plans, they're buying stop loss insurance to protect themselves as well. So interesting to know that. So you decide, the employer would decide what's our risk level, how risky do we want to be. If it's a smaller employer, it may be we don't want to anything over $10,000. We want to have stop loss. So you may have to pay a little bit more for that premium for stop loss. If you're a larger employer, several thousands, maybe your payout is 75. Maybe you set your risk level at 75,000 per incident per employee. And so, the benefits advisor can help you run those numbers and see where those numbers are, because it may, what your risks are, what they have been, to really get a good feel of, how many people per year would you really hit that stop loss where you would need to use that insurance. So that's sort of how stop loss works in a nutshell. The basic, we're just trying to keep it basic here. There's some more heavy details and it gets more complicated for sure. But as you're working with, small employers or other employers, you may hear this term, want you to be aware of it and have a general idea of what stop loss insurance means and how it operates. So hopefully this has been helpful. Go back and look at the other videos if you haven't seen the first two videos, as this is part three. Next week, we're going to get into talking about PBMs, pharmacy benefit managers. So that could be a very long talk, but we're just going to keep it basic, what it is and how they operate. So come back next Friday for that one. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Just take some time for yourself, enjoy yourself, be with your family, get some me time. And as you keep your DPC going, hopefully find this information helpful. If you have any questions or want to connect with me, best way to do that is through my email, drshane@dpcmagic.com, drshane@dpcmagic.com. I also have a book what goes through a lot of how DPC and employers work, and there's a little code up at the top here. You can scan that and get to my book if you need to. So very simple read, about how we work with employers and just give you more